Hello and welcome to another Serviceworks video tutorial. Today what we're going to be doing is going through our demonstration of the software. So today it's going to be kind of a general walkthrough of the software, some of its general uses, main uses that we see a lot of our clients using a lot of time for their program. So what we'll do here is, first things first, I'll get started off by going over the schedule board here, the different schedule views, being able to create a job ticket and then completing that job ticket in the app. We'll go over a little bit of the app as well, some different job views, and then some configuration settings. So let's get started. So first things first, like I said, this is just going to be a general walkthrough of the software, and see how you make it work for your business. The nice thing about ServiceWorks is it's incredibly customizable. So we've had clients of ours, some are appliance, cleaning companies, pest control companies, so on and so forth. So it's incredibly customizable, and you can really make it work for any sort of business, as long as you give it that right tweak. The nice thing is we are always updating the software as well. If there's maybe like a new feature you maybe wanted to recommend for your business, that is something we're always very happy to set up for you. And actually, very quick before I dive in a little bit further, if at any point in time you're using this software and you notice maybe a small little glitch or a bug or something like that, or again, if you wanted to suggest a new feature for the software, you can actually go over to the list little drop down menu right here where your little login, your little name is right there. And if you click on help, this actually takes you to the ServiceWorks support page. So this is again where you can go in and set up any technical support tickets, billing questions, any other report a bug, suggest an improvement or a new feature. And the nice thing about that is, since it is set up, with your own contact information, you would actually be in touch with our technical support team directly, and they'll be able to give you, a kind of a time frame as to when something like that can be set up for you. So that is something that is very, very, we really want our clients to know about, just to make it a little bit easier for you to kind of go in and get these like support tickets set up. And again, that's going to be right over here on the drop down menu under help. And tell you what, since we're right over here in this little corner, so right in here in the top right hand side corner is going to really where the configurations are. That's where we're going to like more of like, so the admin would go and start customizing the software, going in and starting to tweak things here and there. And I'm going to be mentioning the configuration side a lot here and there. Again, it's a big part of ServiceWorks and how the software runs. And this right here where your little notifications are, so any like notifications that are being sent out, so if a job is assigned, edited, so on and so forth, they'll be set up right here. And if you were ever curious to see, maybe what new features are already been introduced to ServiceWorks, you can click on this What's New tab, and it actually tells you, gives you like a rundown of all the new features that we've introduced over time. So that way you can kind of stay in the loop and see what's going on with everything. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with the software here. Kind of go over some of the uses. So first things first, as you can see here, this is the schedule board page. A lot of different things going on here. A lot of different colors. So the colors can be set up by certain job types. That way, it can make it a little bit easier for you to see exactly, what type of jobs you had on the board for the day or the week. So for example, if we wanted to, we can simply just hover over one of these jobs and it actually brings up this bubble here and kind of, pretty, straightforward information, the customer's name, address, so on and so forth, how long the job should take, and, what time the job's going to be. That way, if you wanted to, you didn't have to actually pull out the whole job ticket itself. You can just hover over that. You can see everything you need to see right there. If we needed a little bit more info, I can simply click on that guy and it pulls up this here. Again, gives you a little bit more information. You can see if there's any, payments due, so on and so forth. And if we needed to, we can print this job ticket. We can go to the details. Or if I click on a future job, like click on it here, you have the option of actually canceling it, completing it. Again, we can go in and edit the job ticket. And details brings up the whole job ticket itself. But again, if you wanted to do that, that'll have a little bit more information there. And the nice thing about this page is, again, it's very user friendly, pretty straightforward. If you wanted to, so if you're pulling up your schedule board for the day, you see all these different job types, and you're like, okay, this is a lot. You wanted to break it down a little bit more. You can actually break it down by job types or zone types and just kind of briefly go over that. Zones are a breakdown, a grouping of zip codes. So depending on how large of an area you are operating in, you might have several different types of zip codes. You didn't want to be assigning all those zip codes all over the place. So you can group a bunch of zip codes together, and you can even assign a zone to certain technicians, depending on where your technicians are working. Maybe you have some guys working in a certain area and you have others working in another area. Again, makes it a little bit easier for you. So if we needed to, we can break down the job board here to go to certain types of jobs. Let's say, for example, I wanted to see delivery jobs in zone 2. Breaks that down. Now look at that. It's a lot lot cleaner, and you can see exactly what's going on. And if we needed to, we can even pull it up by, so right now, this is the view we're looking at is your technician view. So you can see where all your techs are. You can pull it up by zone. And again, zones going to have their own kind of like color coding as well. So if I wanted to only see certain zones, you can see those right there. Or I can just view them by the status of the job. So as you can see, you have, orange for pending or completed, so on and so forth. It makes it a little bit easier for you guys. Now let's say now we wanted to go ahead and look at a different schedule view. So right down here at the bottom right hand corner of the page, we have these 4 bubbles where you can see the different types of schedule views. So if I wanted to, this is another popular one. We have the map view. The map view is very handy. It's operated by Google Maps, so it's very reliable and trustworthy. It gives you the option to kind of track your technicians out in the field and see where exactly they're going for their jobs. So it gives them kind of like a time frame of how long it's going to take them to get there. And if I wanted to, I can simply click off a certain technician or a job right here on the map and see what exactly what their time frame was going to be for them to get to that job. And if I wanted to, for example, I thought this was a really handy feature as well, is if you can pull up the traffic layer for the area they're working in. So if I click on that little traffic layer button right up there, it shows me what exactly the traffic's gonna be looking like for that day. So if you saw that you had some guys going into like a high traffic area, you could go ahead and give them a heads up and let them know that, hey, if you want to get to this client's home in time, you want to make sure we take this route instead. Again, makes it a little bit easier for those guys. I have a lot of different, clients who they prefer this schedule view or the other one. Again, it's completely up to you how you wanted to view this. This is really going to be more use for the, your admins in the office who are dispatching and scheduling these jobs. And then this schedule view right here, again, it all depends on how you wanted to set this up. This makes it a little bit easier to reschedule jobs. So for example, let's say, Jack, he wasn't able to complete this job at 10 a.m., but, Andre is going to be able to do it at 12. So we're going to go ahead and simply drag and drop the job there. And the nice thing is it is automatically notifies the technician that the job has been reassigned to them. So you don't have to worry about calling them up, and they will receive notification that a new job has been assigned to them. So it saves you a little bit of time in the office there. You don't have to worry about constantly calling them up. They're already notified. The technicians have their own app called Serviceworks Pro, which is something we'll go over a little bit here soon. The app and the software work very, very well together. You don't have to worry about constantly notifying your technicians about certain jobs. They're all being notified through the app as well. Makes it a little bit easier for you guys in the office. And this view down here at the very bottom, so this is where any unassigned jobs would show up. So depending on how you're building your job tickets, I have some clients of mine when they're building these job tickets, they're billing them out, they're getting the customer information in there, so on and so forth, and they're not assigning them to a certain technician just yet. So if you had any jobs that were unassigned, were not given to a certain technician, they would show up here. You would simply be able to drag and drop those jobs to a certain technician, make it a little bit easier. Again, that's just one option with the software that you have. Very customizable, very user friendly, and just for the users in the office who are dispatching and scheduling these jobs, this is going to become just make things a breeze for them. Because again, it allows you to track your technicians live again with that mapping view. As soon as they hit the on route on their app, which is something again I will show you here soon, it starts tracking them. So again, you can always see what exactly they're doing and how they're going about their day. Gives you a little bit more control there, which is always something that's very much appreciated. So what I'll go ahead and do now is go ahead and start creating a new job ticket, kind of go over the basic setup for that. A couple of different ways of how we complete a new job ticket. We can simply go to the top right hand corner next to our little Anthony guy in the configurations. We could go to add new, and we can see we go to add new job, estimation, customer, inventory, so on and so forth. Or if we wanted to, we can go over here to jobs and go to new job. So we'll go ahead and do that there. This is another thing that we've gotten a lot of praise for is just how simple and straightforward and clean the job ticket is. You can have the option of putting all your customer information here. You can make it a sub-customer or a property management customer, depending on what type of business you're going to be doing. Customer addresses, job information, any services and labors, products, so on and so forth. All of that's going to be set up on the configuration side again. Same thing with job types, source of call and type of call. It's all going to be set up on the configuration side. So, very customizable. It gives you a chance to kind of make the website look and run the way you want it to. And we just go down a little bit further, and once you had your inventory set up, if you had items or parts set up in there, they would be added here. If you were, depending on what type of business you're running, if you didn't have much of an inventory, you didn't need this section in there. If you're just doing services and labors, you have the option of going in and removing that section there just to make it a little bit easier for you. If you're not super restricted to what you have, you can kind of go in there and tweak it. If you were thinking, hey, we didn't need this, this, and this, but we like this, of course, you can go in and get that set up there. Charges, any additional charges for services, labors, or items and parts are going to show up down here. And then down here at the very bottom is where we would schedule the job. So let's go ahead and scroll back up to the top here. I'm going to go ahead and start entering some customer information. So a nice thing is once you enter in a customer's info one time, it's in there. So you don't have to worry about constantly entering in customers' information. So as you can see, we have quite a few different wills in here. I'm going to go with Mr. William Freeman right here. And there you go right there. So all the customers' information that we've entered in the past is already preset in here. So we have him set up as a sub-customer, billed with the parents. Any customer note that I may have added in the past will be saved there as well. And the nice thing about addresses is you have the option to set up several different addresses. You can have one set up again as the billing address, one as the customer address, depending on what type of job you're going to be doing. And yeah, you can add as many jobs as you want. So for example, if this was a property management customer, you can add different addresses on there and select which ones that need to be used. And then we go down to job description. Before I jumped into that a little bit more, job information and customer information and details, you have the option of creating custom fields for these items. So for example, let's see, you wanted to have more customer details right in here. You can create a new custom field, or same thing with the job information. You can add even more fields in here in case you just want to have some more information on there as well. And that is, again, something you can set up over here on the configuration side. So yeah, again, you're not super restricted to buy what we already have here set up for you. You can kind of go in and again tweak it, play around with it, get used to it, and make it your own. So Serviceworks, again, super user friendly. Always happy to hear your input as to what we can do to make the software work better for you and our other clients. So I'm going to go ahead and do, let's say for job description, we're just going to do service test. Again, this is all purely for your use. Anything you're going to see here into the job ticket will reflect on the actual app. So again, you want to make sure you're giving as much information as possible, depending on what type of job it was that you were doing. Let's say the job type is going to be a simple, let's do inspection. And tell you what, since we're right here, we'll go over job forms and survey forms in the log. A job form can be set up more of like a checklist. So for example, if I go in here and click on this, let's do a testing prep job form. So this is, for example, if you wanted your technicians, depending on what type of job it was, you can create different job forms. You can create as many as you want, honestly. So depending on what type of job it was you're doing, say if it was an inspection job or if it was a repair job, so on and so forth, you can go in there and create a certain job form for that job, have it be like a checklist. So whenever your technician pulls up his app, he has to go through that checklist and check off every single thing right there. Survey form. One thing we see used a lot for is being set up as a customer survey. Sometimes it's a disclaimer, so on and so forth. Again, that's something you can go in and kind of customize that yourself. And then log, as I'm sure you see, is nothing in there just yet, but you have the option of going in and viewing like the history of this job ticket. So once I save this job ticket and have everything added in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's just a general rundown of everything that's been done to the job from its origin to its completion, so on and so forth. Services and labors. So again, pretty straightforward. So once you added your service and labors on the configuration side, they're going to show up over here. So let's say, for example, we're doing a repair and installation. Let's do an inspection. And let's say the total cost, let's just say it's going to be about, let's say it's $100. And then the nice thing about services and labors, again, depending, you can set your own prices with that, of course, and you can add as many service labors as you wanted to. And then if you needed to add any products or inventory items, again, that would be what you would set up on your end. You would get the inventory set up as well, depending on what type of business you ran. We do integrate with several different types of manufacturers. For this sake, just for what we're doing here, let's go ahead and set it up as, again, like, we're going in to do a repair, so we don't know if we need any items just yet. The nice thing about that is if we needed to, you can go in and add a new schedule. So let's say they went out to the job and they knew that they needed to reschedule the job. Okay, we went on repair, but turns out we do need to add some items. You can always set up a new schedule. And the nice thing is you don't have to go back in and create a whole new job ticket. You can just, again, add a new schedule right then and there. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So we have our job form, we have our survey forms. The total of the businesses are going to be surrounded up here at the top. Let's go ahead and let's edit that one more time. So the total has been added, and we're going to go ahead and set up down here at the very bottom, get our schedule going. So as you can see here, we're going to go set it up for, let's just do today. You have the option of setting up as AM, PM job, all day, a specific time, or a time range. Time ranges can be set up again in the configuration side, depending on how long you knew certain jobs are going to take. You can go in there and set that up there. So let's say you're scheduling at a job, but you didn't want to go back to that schedule board over here. You wanted to see, well, when do we have some free time here? You actually have the option of pulling up that calendar, that schedule we saw earlier, right here on the job ticket. Make it a little bit easier. It's way more convenient. You don't need to be hopping back and forth between different windows. You can see right then and there that, okay, so we have some availability here around about 10:30. So let's say we're going to schedule that for 10:30. And you can even see, what the rest of the week's going to look like too, in case you wanted to schedule it for the rest of the week. So let's go ahead and do specific time. Let's do 10 a.m., 10:30, not p.m. That'd be a little late. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and assign it to a professional. So the nice thing is once I go in there and click on that and start setting it up for a professional, it pulls up their availability, when they're going to be free, and their actual skill set. So that way you know who can actually go out on certain jobs. Except if I scroll down a little bit, you can see here that some of these guys don't have a matching skill sets. We know not to send them out, or we know not to assign them as a leader for a job. If I wanted to, so let's say, for example, Christopher, he's pretty open that day. Let's go ahead and assign him. He's automatically set up as the leader. If we wanted to, I can assign him with somebody else who's maybe a little less experienced, or just have someone as a helper go out with him. I can assign that person to go with him. So we have the leader and we have the professional. And they're both got a matching skill set. They're both available in that time period. So now we're ready to go ahead and assign them to the job. Once this job is saved, again, like I said, once it's saved, the log will be updated. And if you ever needed to go back at any point in time to see any signatures for a job, or if you need to pull up any content, so if you needed to, you can add a picture to this job, like, to kind of give a heads up to your technician on the field, or they can even take a picture on the app in the field, and it will show up here. And if you, again, wanted to go through the history of the job and see what this will tell you, what time they said they were on their way, what time they arrived at the job, what time the issue was complete, rescheduled, and the explanation of the services. Again, the app, the Serviceworks Pro app and the actual desktop version communicate very, very well together. And we're going to see that here soon. So we've built the job ticket, we've assigned it to a technician. It's good to go. We're ready to save the job. If you needed to, you can save the job there, and it just automatically refreshes the page and shows all the job information. Or if you wanted to, you have the option to go ahead and go in there and immediately save this job ticket and pull up a new job ticket if you're just plugging away and just getting these job tickets sent out. So let's just go ahead and save the job for now. And the nice thing is, as soon as a job is saved, depending on how the customer wanted to be notified of these jobs, they'll receive an email or a text message or both saying, oh, this job has been assigned to so-and-so, it's been assigned to Christopher and David, they expect them to be here around this time frame, and so on and so forth. The notification setup of the software is very user-friendly. Again, we provide you with some generic templates to get those set up to how you wanted your clients to stay in touch with you guys. So there we go. The job has been completed. And now we can see the log has been updated. So we can see that the job was created, the service inspection was set up, the trip was assigned, the notifications were set up, and the product was added, and was all set and ready to go. And you can even see who was doing what at what time. So that way, if you ever go up a job ticket, you can see exactly who was doing what. Makes it a little bit simple. And I did mention the notifications, so how the customer is being notified. So if they wanted to receive an email, can simply check that box there. If they want to get a text message, or if they don't want a text message, they just want to email, I can uncheck one, leave the other checked, depending on how they wanted to do that. So there we go. We have the job ticket built and completed. Now we're going to go ahead and show you how exactly your technicians are going to be completing that job ticket while they're out in the field. I'm going to go ahead and start mirroring my screen. And in this way, like I said, I'm just simply going to start mirroring my phone so you can see how the app works a little bit better. So again, the name of the app you're going to want to use is called Serviceworks Pro. This is the app here. Pretty straightforward. Once your technician, he signs in, gets his day going, he ends his day or he starts his day. He can pause it at any time if he needed to. And it even shows him how many jobs he's going to have for the day, how much he's been traveling, how many he has completed, and then if there's a deposit for him to deposit, he can set that up as well. Now, your guys out in the field, they have the option of pulling up customers, searching customers. They can even, if you allow them to, there are certain permissions you can set up for your technicians. So if you wanted them to be able to create new job tickets or add new customers, they can all do that right here. They can even pull up the schedule board, go over any jobs that they're going to have for this coming month. They can view any notifications that have been sent out by them. So for example, if a job's been completed, it will show that there. But let's go ahead and look up the jobs been assigned to this specific customer here. So let's go ahead and pull up. Here we go. Here's the job at 10:30. So the nice thing about this is it has everything that your technicians are going to need. It has all the client's information. If they need to, they can pull up the map, how they can get there a little bit easier. They can give them a call, shoot them a text message, just the way that keeps them in touch a little bit easier. And then we see here we have the staff. Well, Christopher and David been assigned to the job. If we need to, and again, if you give them that permission, they can reschedule it. They can edit it at any time or add a new schedule. Any notes can be added here as well. And once your technician goes out on the job, let's say he does the repair. Let's say, did repair, need extra parts, reschedule. We know we're going to have to come back out again. And if you needed to, you can always add additional files or add a photo to it as well, simply using the camera on their phone. Any service items that need to be added will show up here if they needed any additional notes. And then down here, this is where you're going to have the job forms that we mentioned before. So let's say he pulls up the job form and he needs to go in and complete the job form before he goes further. Your customer complete the customer survey. But as I'm sure you're seeing, anything that's been done on the actual desktop version will reflect over here, and they communicate very, very well. So let's say the technician's on his way to the job. And again, the client is going to be notified of saying, okay, your guy's on the way. It should take about this long before they get there, so on and so forth. And they have the option to opt out of those notifications if they like. We do find that a lot of our clients do prefer the notifications, kind of keeps them in touch a little bit more, but again, completely up to you. Technicians arrived to the job, he's addressed the issue, and now he's completed the job. So that's kind of the general walkthrough of the app. Again, your technicians might have different uses for it. They can kind of play around with it. But the nice thing is the one more extra thing is we can go ahead and take a payment right here from the app as well. So let's say we're going to go ahead and take the down payment, collect that cash, receive a signature. Not my best signature, but it will do. They can get a signature for a waiver or lien or estimate approval, depending on how you wanted to run that. They can always send an email to the customer as well, and even send an invoice to the customer there. So let's say while the guy's on the job, before he wants to pay it, he wants to see the invoice. You have the option of pulling that invoice up and showing it to them, or even taking a photo and attaching a photo to the email as well, in case what if one of the items in the checklist was that the client wanted to receive an email of the repairs done to his washer? Maybe they're out on the job, so they wanted to get an email saying that, hey, this is what we've been doing for the job, so on and so forth. Keeps them in the loop. A lot of clients tend to like that. And if you want to, let's say you had a new technician go on this job, he can pull up a service history ticket, see exactly everything that's been done on that job. Again, that way they're not going in blind. They can kind of have a better idea of what they're going to be doing. But that's kind of the general straight-through walkthrough of the app. Again, it's called Serviceworks Pro. Very user-friendly. It allows you to communicate with your guys in the office pretty easily. And now that we've completed that job, I can go ahead and refresh this page. And now we will be able to see that a down payment was collected. We can see the log has been updated, that they were en route, the explanation of services was added, issue was addressed, and it was completed. And now we can see here that the job has been delivered, the job has been completed, and you're good to go. So if you needed to, you can go ahead. Like I said, we wanted to reschedule something out for something in the future. Let's say that we knew they're going to be going out again. Let's say we're going to get the part that they needed next week. So we're going to set it up for next week. Same time. Let's say it's about 2 hours. It's going to take about all day. So you can always set that up there. And the nice thing is you always have the option of setting up a reoccurrence. So depending on what type of, let's say if you're a cleaning company or if it's like, pest control, you're going out to, do an inspection like every month or so, you can set up reoccurrence very, very easily. You can have it set up where it's once every week, month, however you wanted to. You wanted to repeat only on Mondays. You wanted the reoccurrence to end after a certain day. If there were certain must-go days, like maybe there was a holiday coming up and they wanted someone to come in and take care of some services before then. And the nice thing is once you had the reoccurrence set up there, you don't have to go back and touch it ever again. It's automatically set up for you. So again, pretty simple there. The next thing I'll go over here a little bit more is your all jobs field. So if you wanted to kind of have a better idea of how many jobs you had set up and how many were scheduled, or if they're unassigned or if they're completed, you can go to this page here. You can search by ticket number, customer name, certain dates, job types, and just again gives you a pretty easy, walkthrough of the general of all the different jobs that you have here. So we can see, for example, if I only wanted to see my scheduled jobs that are ready to be sent out, you didn't want to go in and see any delivered jobs just yet, like which ones are still yet to be completed. You can see all of those there simply by clicking on these guys up here. You can even click on a certain ticket and do a print ticket or add a certain schedule to the schedule board, or you can mark it as completed. So let's say if you wanted to go in and click on these guys, have those completed, and then there you go. You don't have to worry about pulling out the job ticket again. It's done and ready to go. There we go. You can even create a new job ticket from this page as well. Why would you not be able to create a new job on the job page? But, again, it's all right there, convenient for you guys. That way you don't have to worry about jumping back and forth between different job fields. And the next thing I'll dive into a little bit more is the configurations, a pretty big part of Serviceworks as a whole. This is where you're going to be able to go in and really start customizing and making the website your own. If you ask me, it's a lot of fun actually. You can go in, you would enter in your company information, your hours of operation, start adding your customers and create that custom field for your customers and the payment receipt templates. Again, it's all super customizable. You're not really restricted on what you have. This would be the templates we have for notifications being sent out to your clients. So it's super customizable, depending on how you want them to receive these emails, or if they wanted to get a text message instead, or if they want to get a robocall, completely depends. It's up to you. We do also integrate with QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. I know it's a big deal for a lot of certain companies, but again, very handy. We work for you here at Serviceworks, so if there's ever something that you needed assistance with, we can always help you get something set up. And then under admin, this is where you would go ahead and start adding your company users. And then from there, you can assign certain roles. And then again, the permissions. So if you only wanted, your certain, professional to be able to do certain things, like you don't need them to be dispatching jobs or anything like that, you can go in there and remove those permissions so they're not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. Now that is pretty much the straight through walkthrough straightforward walkthrough of the software. Well, again, what we would love to do next is maybe get you guys set up with a demo, an official demo to kind of dig into this a little bit more. That way we can go over some of the specifics that you were looking for you and your business. But ServiceWorks has been just incredibly beneficial for so many different types of companies. And again, we're super customizable. So at any point in time, you wanted to see something new and added to the product, it's something we can do for you. We'll give you a time frame and you will be right in touch with our technical team. But again, thank you so much for your time, for your interest in ServiceWorks. We look forward to working with you in the future, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.